Hey everybody, ¿cómo estás? Welcome to your crypto chart update for October 15th, 2017. Today there's a lot of interesting charts to look at. Things are breaking out, we're hitting targets, all of our predictions are coming true, so it's a really exciting day today. A lot of things to talk about. Stay tuned for the charts. Well, the crypto chart update is where we analyze the latest charts in the cryptocurrency space using technical analysis. I'm your host Tim, a retail investor and journalist. You can find my regular chart rundowns on tradingview.com or follow me on Twitter, both under the name BerlinTrader591. That's BerlinTrader591. Today's video is also brought to you by CryptoKing.org, which is a great source for the latest news as well as these videos on the front page. So check that out to get the latest fundamental information and crypto news. The goal of these videos is really to analyze the trends and give you the ability to use technical analysis to make good decisions and help broaden your understanding of the behavior of markets and how people behave, because that's what technical analysis is. It's a reflection of behavior. If you guys get interested and you tell other people and make better decisions, then in the end we'll all make some money. So I'm happy to share my experience and the lessons I've learned over the last 5-6 years of trading stocks and options with technical analysis, which principles also apply to the crypto space. As always, guys, leave me a comment below in the YouTube channel. Send me your requests for charts to analyze. I'm happy to do that. And if you join a wallet or you need some software for trading, please use the links I have below to join up to Coinbase or Coinigy or GDAX or the exchanges I have below, because these are actually platforms that I use. They're not something I just threw up there to make some money. I actually use the Trezor wallet. I do use Coinigy for trading, day trading, and I do use Coinbase to get my money in and out of dollars or euros. So without further ado, let's begin. Don't forget, this is only for entertainment purposes. This is not official financial advice. You should not take my advice at all. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. Please contact a registered advisor for any kind of financial investment. I'm not a registered advisor, but I love to show these charts. Let's check them out. So we have, I wanted to start off with Bitcoin's market cap here at data.bitcoin.org. Bitcoinity.org. We see the market cap is around 96 billion at the moment. So let's check out, the market cap here. Yeah, around 95 billion dollars, the market cap of Bitcoin. What's the market cap of Apple? Well, the market cap of Apple is 810 billion. So even though Bitcoin's really exciting, the market cap of Bitcoin at its high price of 5,600 is still only 1/10 of Apple. And Apple is only one big company amongst many big companies of the stock market in the United States. And the United States is one of many markets in the world. So Bitcoin's market cap is still pretty low compared to a stock, right? So you can see that two ways, right? You could say that Bitcoin is nothing, right? It's not important. It has no impact on the world, so therefore it's a risky investment. Or you could look at it the other way and say it has a huge amount of room to grow, right? It has a huge amount of market share to capture, right? Think of all the people that are trading compared to a few months ago. And if Bitcoin continues to attract buyers, well, then the price will go up. Because remember, Bitcoin is basically limited. There's not an unlimited amount of Bitcoins to go around. And if we have more buyers coming in than there are Bitcoin, well, there's going to be an increase in price. And that's why price goes up. Remember, price goes up because people buy and they don't sell. Price doesn't go up because Russia accepts Bitcoin. Price doesn't go up because price doesn't go down because China bans Bitcoin. Price goes up because sellers sell and buyers buy based on their own decisions. Now the news can influence that decision, and that's why news has an effect. But in the end, buying and selling has more influence on price than news has, because news has no influence on price. It's only buying and selling. So if more buyers are coming into the market, if more people are getting interested, if banks come in or countries come in and start to buy Bitcoin, well, the price is going to go up. It doesn't matter what they say, it matters if buyers are buying. And it just feels like buyers are coming in. And we can look at the momentum indicators, we can look at the price, and we can confirm that thesis, right? So we always want to make a thesis, and then we want to look at both sides. We want to confirm, and we also want to disprove our thesis. So if we think Bitcoin is going up because there are more buyers, we also want to think what disproves that thesis, what evidence goes against that thesis. And based on what side we come down on, if we have more weight of the evidence for bullish activity, well, then we want to be bullish. And if we have more weight of the evidence for bearish activity, we want to be bearish. So we want to weigh those sides, right? We don't just want to go in, make a decision, and only use evidence that supports our thesis. We want to have both sides. So let's check it out. Well, we always start with that 200-day moving average. It is increasing, so that's bullish. The general trend is up. We can look at volume. Generally, volume has increased over the last months, over the last years. That's a bullish trend. More buyers coming in, more transactions every day. Well, that means the price is probably going to go up. We also have the RSI going into bullish territory, and that is a great sign because that means the bullish buying momentum is higher than the bearish selling momentum. And look at this, we've hardly reached oversold on the RSI, right? We've hit it a couple of times on those crashes after hitting all-time highs, but we've always bounced back, and that is pretty bullish. The fact that we've bounced back every single time and made new highs. So that pattern just keeps continuing, and until the pattern's broken, I don't see why it would stop. And that's what we're playing. We're playing this pattern overall, right? We're playing new highs, then consolidation, new highs, then consolidation. And if that pattern continues right now, we're going to see new highs. Now, how high are we going to go? Well, that's the question right now. Bitcoin has broken out over 5,000. That was a big moment. We've been waiting for that moment to break above 5,000, and now we've done it. So where do we go from here? Well, we can set our target based on Fibonacci analysis, which you've seen I've already done. Let me take away a few of these drawings here. So remember, guys, I made these price boxes to show the consolidation ranges, and we consolidated in those boxes, and now we have broken out. So we have to form another box. So what is the next box? Where does the top of that box belong? Well, my first target, based on the Fibonacci from the top of the range to the bottom of the consolidation range, is this 161.8 retracement level, which is basically around 6,000, 6,100. I don't think we're going to have a problem getting there. We have an amazing breakout of 5,000 on this big candle with high volume, with overbought conditions, right? With a 200-day moving average going up. Bullish, 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 bullish. Line up all the signals. They're all bullish. So I think I'm going to be bullish if all the signals are bullish. There's no reason to be bearish right now. There's no sign of a bubble bursting. There's sign of a bubble expanding. So right now we're seeing a little bit of consolidation, which can be expected. Let's zoom down to the 60-minute chart so we get a little more detailed view of what's happening. We have the box here. We have that breakout, which just, shot right up all the way almost to 5,900. And of course, people took profits, right? And then we have some consolidation. It's only natural to see some consolidation sideways. And we're consolidating above that 5,500 level. Again, a nice round number, a psychological level, 5,500. And if we can hold this 5,500 level, I don't see why we won't attack 6,000 in the coming day or two. Maybe it takes a few more days, but we're going to attack 6,000, and that's where I'm going to take my profits, my first profit level, and you'll probably see a lot of people take profits there. So we could easily see a crash right back down to 5,500, and it might take us a few more days or weeks to get above 6,000 because you have that psychological level. On the other hand, because so many people are coming in now, we could see a break of 6,000 straight through. And if we do see a break of 6,000, if we go back to the daily chart, then our next target would be that 200% level, which is at 6,900, which is basically 7,000. Isn't it beautiful how these levels line up, right? 6,000 is the 168% level, 200% level is 7,000. You know, just nice round numbers, because that's how people behave. Technical analysis look at behavior, and these levels play out again and again. So if we break that 6,000 level, I think we're heading to 7,000 without any problems, and that's where I'll take more profits. And depending on how extended we get, we might see higher prices, or we might consolidate sideways. But it's too soon to tell. But we've broken that 5,000 level. That's a huge psychological level. I think it's like 1,000, because 5 is a nice number. People love the number 5, and people think 10 when you break 5, right? When you break 1,000, you think 2,000. And when you break 2,000, you think 5,000. And when you break 5,000, you think 10,000, right? And when we break 10,000, we think 20,000. So breaking these levels, it just gives more people the confidence to come in and buy. And it gives people the confidence to hold their Bitcoins as well for a long-term investment, which reduces the supply, which increases the price. So all of these factors combined mean that Bitcoin could continue to climb for a while, maybe further than we can imagine. All right, let's check out the other coins. Now, what's really interesting about Bitcoin breakouts is that the other coins, sometimes they lag behind, sometimes they come with Bitcoin, sometimes they break out more, and we really want to be in the coins that are moving the most, right? If there's a coin that moves 30%, I want to be in that coin. I don't want to sit in Bitcoin and wait for Bitcoin to make a 5% move when I can be in Litecoin and catch a 30% move, right? So it's a tricky game though, because you have to change ships, you have to jump from one horse to the other, and doing that, often you have opportunity costs, often you miss moves that you could have had. It's better probably just to stay put in Bitcoin if you don't know what you're doing. But if you want to try and find a higher return, if you want to, leverage up, then what can we do? Well, let's look at Ethereum. You know, right now Ethereum is stuck in a range still, and I think that's going to break out. But right now it's kind of hovering in the middle, right? So is it a good place to enter Ethereum? Well, I've got a little position on an Ethereum, but it's not a huge position because we're in the middle of that range. Even though it's so tempting to buy in right now and just like, oh, I don't want to miss the move. Fear of missing out, FOMO. It's more advantageous, right? Probability-wise, to either wait for a pullback to this trend line or wait for a breakout of the all-time highs. And I think we're going to get that. What we did see right after the Bitcoin breakout is that when Bitcoin kind of stalled a little and went sideways after the initial breakout, we did see movements in Ethereum, in Litecoin, as Bitcoin was going sideways. Now what that means is that Bitcoin goes sideways and people get antsy, or people take a little bit of profits and then they go to the other altcoins because they're in the mood, right? You get your profits from Bitcoin, you get that 5, 10, 20% move, and you think, well, I want to buy another coin. I don't want to just put it in dollars. So what can I do? Well, I'll put it in Litecoin. I'll put it in Ethereum, right? This rotation is what we get. Just like in the stock market, we have rotation into different sectors, right? From industrial to technology, we have rotation from one coin to the other. So we see that rotation, right? Bitcoin, a chart I really love right now is the Litecoin Bitcoin cross, which shows us the strength of Litecoin against Bitcoin. This is a really interesting chart because I remember back in August, I made a video about this move here where we have this support level, Litecoin against Bitcoin, and we bounced off it once, we bounced off it twice, and I predicted, hey, we'll bounce off it again. And we did. We bounced off it again, and Litecoin had a huge run, right, against Bitcoin and also against the dollar. Well, Litecoin was very weak against Bitcoin again in the last months, and here we are again bouncing off that support level, right? And we should see again some strength in Litecoin against Bitcoin. And if that holds true, right? So think about that. Bitcoin is rising. Bitcoin we have a target of 6,000 or 7,000. And Litecoin is bouncing against Bitcoin. So that means Litecoin is even having higher gains, right? So we can leverage up from Bitcoin by buying some Litecoin. But what is interesting, of course, everyone probably sees this head and shoulders pattern, right? We have the two shoulders and the head in the middle. If that breaks, well, then Litecoin is heading for a big fall, maybe down to, I don't know, 50 cents. Here's the next support level here, around 45 cents. If we measure the head, right, then it's something like that. So this could happen. I am watching this cross, right? If Litecoin, kind of bounces around here a bit and just looks weak, I might get out of my Litecoin position, because if it's kind of like a little ball bouncing and do like a basketball kind of bouncing on the black top, that's not a good sign. That means it's showing weakness. It's not behaving like it has before. It's changing its behavior. Litecoin could crash. Now that would be a bad thing for Litecoin, but it's not necessarily a bad thing for Bitcoin, because that means all the money from Litecoin, people might sell their Litecoin and go into Bitcoin. So we're going to keep an eye on Litecoin, see if we spot any weakness, if that head and shoulders plays out to the downside. So I'm watching that head and shoulders. Monero, getting interesting here. We've been watching for that breakout in Monero, and I believe we had it. Where's my Monero here? There's Monero. Yeah, so this is interesting. Monero is one of those altcoins where we have a lot of volatility, chance for some big moves, but it is a more volatile coin. But we had this consolidation flag, and we did break out pretty convincingly over the last couple days. Now we're pulling back. I actually really like this right now. We might see a textbook retrace and bounce, which means we break out of that consolidation, a little bit of profit taking, but then right here it holds this support level and we get a bounce. And if we bounce there, my targets are the old highs at 150, and that is a 50%, 60% move. So pretty nice move in Monero. If it holds that support level, that looks great. Litecoin against the US dollar. Remember, we talked about Litecoin and Bitcoin. Litecoin bouncing off that level with Bitcoin, and here we are again with Litecoin. We see that against the dollar it was bouncing. Will that continue up, or will we bounce against that resistance level and crash against the dollar? If that happens, then that would fit conveniently with the Bitcoin head and shoulders. If we fail at this trend line, then I think we're going to see a crash in Litecoin against the dollar, and also against Bitcoin. That head and shoulders might play out. So Litecoin is really the only coin in the major players that looks weak, right? It might surprise some people and show some weakness. Dash here, also not the strongest pattern right now. It's consolidating, heading sideways, but it is holding this trend line, right, that we've had since March. So pretty solid down upward sloping trend line. We have a lot of bounces off this, and until that changes, I think we still play this trend line for a bounce. And if Bitcoin takes a break and people take some profits, maybe at the 6,000 level like we talked about, maybe some money will flow into Dash, and that would be good for another bounce up to that upper trend line that has been sloping upwards since March. So Dash also looks good. And let's check out Ripple. Where's Ripple here? So many here, so many coins. So many coins, so little time. Ripple, there we go. Yeah, Ripple has also broken out of its long consolidation since May. It's gone back and forth since May, and just in the last week we've broken out. And if we zoom in a bit, we can see some very healthy behavior and a classic breakout, pullback, holding that support, and now I'm really expecting a bounce at some point, heading up where? Well, I've already written that down. First target is those former highs, at 43 cents. Second target would be the 161.8 retracement at 62 cents. So we are looking at a 100%, 200% move here in Ripple coin. So again, a huge move that, you know, we are at a prime moment right now, a perfect moment to get in because we're holding that support range. And this is where you want to get in. You want to get in when you see healthy behavior and you see a support level being held. You want to get in there. You don't want to wait for the breakout of the breakout because then it might be too late and your risk reward is not high enough. But anyway, what do we see then? Let's go over that again. Bitcoin has already broken out and it's heading towards our targets. Should you get in now? Probably not. You probably want to wait till we see a pullback, or you want to wait until we break out of 6,000, or you could also play a hold of 5,500. If Bitcoin crosses 5,500, you can get out, and if it holds 5,500, you can be long. So long above 5,500, but with the stop at 5,400. Or long above 5,000 for a longer term play with the stop at 4,800. So there's different ways to play it depending on your time frame. But Bitcoin is broken out of 5,000. We have our targets around 6,000 and 7,000. Here in Ripple, we have another breakout of a consolidation pattern, and our target is 43 or 62. In Ethereum, we're still consolidating sideways, but it looks really healthy with a upslope, uptrending 200-day moving average, and we're seeing some bullish activity towards that resistance level, and this would be the third time we attack that level. We could break out there. Litecoin is acting well, but we do see the possibility of a retrace and a correction off of that trend line, and we're looking for weakness in Litecoin. Monero, we are looking for a hold of that support level around 90. We're looking for a hold of the support level of that consolidation range. We've broken out. If we hold that, like in Ripple, then we're definitely going to be heading back up to those old highs around 150, which is a nice 50 to 100% move in Ripple. PivX is my little soapbox that I've been pounding the table for, and we're still seeing that smiley face rounded bottom pattern, which I do really love. Sometimes we see these fail, you know, they just break down, but so far so good. We've held that 3 level, that horizontal support, and we've seen bearish momentum come in, and we've seen selling improve. So if we see a lot of cryptos doing well, I think PivX is gonna lead the pack, and we can leverage up with PivX, and we might see again a 100-200% move in PivX. So I'm seeing a lot of healthy behavior out there. I don't see a lot of weakness except for Litecoin, which has the possibility of becoming a little weak. Maybe in Litecoin my position would be neutral, but certainly not bearish. And there's a lot more bullish signs out there than bearish signs right now. When there are bearish signs, hey, I'm going to be bearish, and I'm going to let everyone know, and I'm not going to be pounding the table to buy more. I'm going to be saying stay out of the way because things don't look good. But right now, there's a lot of bullish signs, and things don't just turn around on a dime. It takes, to move humans, to move behavior, it takes a way, you know, it's like moving a ship, right? You have to turn it slowly, and eventually it starts to go the other way. But if you know how to recognize the ship turning, then you can leverage that knowledge. So let's see. Oh, one thing I did like actually was Ethereum and the Korean won, guys. I mean, here, similar pattern to the dollar, right? But I've been looking at the Korean won a lot lately to get a kind of advance warning of what's going to happen, because think about it, more Bitcoin is traded in Korea and Japan than in the United States, and it's also earlier, so they kind of get to the markets before Europe and America. So we kind of see a prediction of what's going to happen in those Korean markets first. So it's kind of like cheating, right? We just look ahead into the future and we can see what the dollar market's going to do, or at least so far that's how it's acted. But we hit those levels just like in the US dollar market, but right now we're seeing an attack on that resistance for the third time. And in the dollar, right, we haven't got there yet, right? In the dollar, we're still around here. But in the Korean won, we're pressing up against that resistance. So if we can break out in Korean won, guys, I think that really increases our chances to break out in the dollar as well. So keep an eye on that Korean won. All right. Okay, so now some of the requests from the YouTube channel. If you leave a comment, I'm going to check those out and try and go through the charts that you want on the next video. So today we have a request for DGB, Digibyte against the dollar, and someone wants to know what's the target going to be in 2018. So that's next year. It's 2017 now. If we check out Digibyte, first of all, we have an amazing parabolic rise in price from March to June this year. We're talking, I don't know, 1/10,000th of a dollar to 6 cents. So I don't know how much that is. Hundreds, I don't know, many multiples. An amazing return if you were in that run. I certainly wasn't. But since then, we've kind of gone sideways in a consolidation pattern. And looks similar to other altcoins, right? Looks kind of like looks like Ripple, looks like Monero, looks like a lot of coins. We had this general behavior where we had this huge rush of interest from April to June, or from spring to the summer, and since then we've kind of gone sideways since that initial craze, and since people have, been waiting to see what's going to happen. But it looks healthy, right? We have a lot of volume coming in. That is a lot of green volume, right? A lot of buying volume down here. We haven't hit oversold conditions, or sorry, overbought conditions on the RSI, so that's a weak sign. We haven't hit oversold either recently, so basically what you see is what you get here, and the moving average tells the story as well. We're just going sideways. We saw a huge run up. Now we're just going sideways. Don't really know where it's going to go. It could easily crash down. Could easily break out to the upside. If we look at 2018, probably we're going to see a direction before 2018. So what's my prediction for 2018? Well, we're either going to break out and head back up, and you're going to get a nice 1,000% profit, or you might see a crash. You might see a tenfold loss, right? So you could get in now as a lottery ticket, but there's no real signs to the upside or the downside. So that's the kind of chart where I'm interested. I'm going to put it on my list right now, but it does not warrant a position. It does not give me any signs of making a play. And you don't really just want to play a lottery ticket unless you're just gambling, right? I actually want to make money. I don't want to have fun. I actually want to make some money. So that's Digibyte. Next request is for XZC or XZC, Zcoin, and dollar. Let's check that out. Anything worth doing here? Alrighty. So we had the ICO last year, November, crashed all the way down to 28. Beautiful. So you lost a lot of money if you were in there. People were probably crying. Oh, I lost some. Then you had a nice accumulation pattern down here. Could have got in for that little run. If you held on to it back to the all-time highs, then you would have, I don't know. Again, these ICOs are crazy, 1,000%, 10,000% return. We kind of had a nice little cup and handle here, right? We have a cup and a handle. So a beautiful long-term, multi-month cup and handle, which is pretty sweet. I wish I'd seen this. And we broke out, and then it failed. We broke out, and what happened in the end? It became just a sideways consolidation pattern. So what we see here is not really any sort of amazing signal. We don't see this support holding incredibly well. It's just kind of meandering back and forth around that original ICO price, and kind of like Digibyte, we could go either way. Right now we just have a consolidation, and we're waiting for a breakout to the upside or break down to the downside. Again, it's a 50-50 shot. There's no reason why this should go up or down right now based on technical analysis. If you believe in the coin fundamentally, you think it's a great idea, then sure, buy some and for a long-term move. But if you are looking at it technically, then we want to wait for some signs of strength. But if it does break out, I think it could easily reach 32, and if it does break down, it could easily reach, 4 or 3. So pretty huge moves either way, but no pattern to speak of. I'm gonna check out the other exchange. But see, this is always interesting with these altcoins, right? You check out a different exchange and you have totally different pattern. So we had the huge run up March to April or June, whatever. And since then, we've been consolidating sideways. So very similar pattern, but we're not at all dealing with the same levels. So with cryptocurrencies, this is a great example of checking out different exchanges. You really want the exchanges with the most liquidity, with the most trades. You do not want to use the exchange with 5 trades. You want to look at the different exchanges and use the exchanges with more trades, because then you get a more accurate picture of what price is doing. And here, we have basically, sorry, I made a mistake because, jeez, that was DigiByte is not even the right chart. So anyway, actually, I take all that back. Zcoin is only on one exchange. It's only on Bitrex at the moment, and it's just consolidating sideways, so nothing to report there. We'll keep an eye on it, but right now, nothing of note. So yeah, guys, that was awesome today, going over those charts. I'm a little tired because I went swimming, so my brain's a little fried. But it's a great time to be involved right now. Send me your questions, send me your requests, and don't overtrade, right? A lot of people write me and they say, Tim, I'm losing money even though Bitcoin's going up. That's because you're overtrading, right? If you're buying and selling and going in and going out, you're just going to be a victim of your own fear and your own greed. So better to make a calculation, stick to it, and use a time frame that doesn't freak you out, right? Use a time frame where you can be totally relaxed. If that's 30 minutes, then trade 30-minute intervals. But most likely it's going to be a day or a few days or a few weeks, right? Use those time windows to moderate your emotions. Cool, guys. See you next time. Peace.